Hey guys, Adam here, and welcome to another On the Couch. And it's actually for me the start of the next 2 weeks of nothing but Marvel. And forgive me, I just got sick. So, what am I going to review today? Well, I'm actually going to review Netflix's Daredevil. Since I actually watched that first, I watched it over the weekend. It premiered April 10th. And let me tell you, best damn show I have seen in a while. I mean, this is the year. This is basically the year of Marvel right now. I mean, we got season 2 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. being really good. We had Agent Carter premiering. Also really good. We have Age of Ultron coming up. We got Ant-Man coming up. As a matter of fact, the second trailer for it was just released today, which has now officially got me looking forward to it. We have Spider-Man coming back to the MCU, and now we have Daredevil. Not to mention we got all the Phase 3 announcements from last year. Daredevil is... I don't want to say it's a redemption story, but it kind of is. This is Marvel's somewhat apology to Fox's 2003 Daredevil with Ben Affleck. This is basically taking everything that movie did wrong, and I'm not counting the director's cut because I actually never saw the director's cut, which I heard is actually better. But taking everything the theatrical version of Daredevil did wrong, and twisting it around to where it's right, where it's done right. The characters are done right. The story's done right. The fight scenes are done right. Everything is done right. I mean, it's not perfect. It's not perfect, but it's damn close. Just by a margin, by a small margin, is it damn near perfect. All right. So basically, the premise is. Matt Murdock and Foggy Nelson have just created their own firm. They're just studying law officially for literally 7 hours. They had just started. Meanwhile, Matt Murdock is also this new vigilante called the Man in the Black Mask. He's not Daredevil yet. And also, he's trying to clean up Hell's Kitchen after the aftermath which has gone into disarray from the aftermath of the Battle of New York from Avengers. Which means he's going to be going head to head against the Kingpin, who is this mysterious new player, as we all know is Wilson Fisk, played by Vincent D'Onofrio, who I'll get to. And for 13 episodes, it is basically this one-man war against an entire criminal element, and it's done well. The one thing I want to say about how Marvel handles their properties is they handle it not as a superhero property, but it's still a superhero movie. There's no getting around that. But they handle it as if it's something else beyond a superhero movie, which is something that the 2003 Daredevil failed to do. This one, yes, it's a superhero movie. I mean, it's a superhero show, but it's treated like a crime drama, basically. I mean, they occasionally end up in the courthouse, but not as much. I mean, which hopefully we'll see in the second season, which I know is going to get renewed. And but it's a crime drama in a way of there's crime, drama happens, but Matt Murdock is not only taking the law into his own hands, but he's also trying to get the law to work with him, which is he's trying to let the law work. Because he is also a lawyer, and it's a good kind of yin yang kind of thing for him, because he wants the law to work. He believes in the law, but at the same time he knows the law won't work. That the justice system is flawed, is heavily flawed, and he feels like even though he's blind, he has to do something about it. And which is really great, because the first scene is him getting blinded as a child. So we get the origin out of the way, and then for the rest of the season it's him being a lawyer and a vigilante. But we get occasional flashbacks, which is something else that's really well done, is his flashbacks to as a child. Each episode has one, or it's not just flashbacks as a child, but even flashbacks as when he's in college, or even as a teenager. And it's not just flashbacks for him, but even Wilson Fisk, who has probably the best flashbacks ever. But yeah, the story is just very well done. The pacing is well done, and the tone. Oh God, the tone. This is Marvel's darkest property right now. This is hands down Marvel's darkest property. People die. People die brutally. Like, you see people, dudes are getting their heads smashed in with car doors. Their brains are falling out. Dude gets his hand chopped off. They even show the stump. It's violent. It is violent. Characters. Let's start off with Matt Murdock. Charlie Cox, right on. Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock is very well casted. When he was first cast, I was kind of on the fence, but at the same time, I've seen weirder casting choices. Like, for instance, Guardians of the Galaxy. Hell, even when Chris Evans was cast as Captain America, I was on the fence about that because I felt like he wasn't right for the part. But Charlie Cox portrays Matt Murdock like a blind lawyer. He portrays him as someone who has a lot of anger in him, but uses it for a good reason. And he plays blind pretty damn well. He definitely makes this a character. He doesn't just go, "Oh, I'm a lawyer who believes in the law." No, he's a guy who's conflicted, and they even play in his Catholicism, which is a very integral part of Daredevil's character. And where he actually is conflicted whether he should kill Kingpin or not. And he's also a pretty intimidating motherfucker. I'm serious, he really is. Eldon Henson as Foggy Nelson. When I first heard he got casted, at first I didn't realize who it was until they said, "Oh yeah, this is the kid from Mighty Ducks." Thinking, wait, what? Wait, you mean the one that's really good at hockey but hates skating and has anger management issues? This guy is Foggy Nelson, and you know what? He's good, and he's not just a comic relief character. He's a character. He is. He's the comic relief, but he's also Matt's best friend. He's his law partner. He he understands, or he believes in the law. And so when he finds out there's a vigilante going on, he wants to take him down, not realizing it's Matt Murdock until spoilers later on in the series, which I'll get to in a minute. But he's definitely he's a character who at the same time you kind of get behind and root for and like. He's a very likable character. He's actually probably one of my favorite supporting characters in the MCU right now. Deborah Ann Wall plays Karen Page, who we never saw in the 2003 series movie, which I'm glad we see here. She actually starts off as their first client and then becomes Nelson and Murdoch's secretary. But at the same time, she gets an arc for herself as she's trying to investigate a company that she used to work for that tried to kill her. And when she brought it down, it somehow miraculously got built back up, and she's trying to bring it back down again and figure out who's really behind it. And it's very evident she doesn't really know how to do that without getting into trouble. Now, she's not the kind of person that goes, "Oh, I'm in trouble, I've been tied up, save me, Daredevil." No, she's not like that. She's scared. She is scared out of her goddamn mind because she knows she can get killed, but she still perseveres. She perseveres with this investigation. She gets the help of Ben Urich, who is also a really good character. And those two have really, really good chemistry together. Rosario Dawson as Night Nurse is also a good character, even though she doesn't get nearly as much screen time. But she's definitely that character who, one, knows who Matt is when they meet. But she also helps him because she realizes that that New York needs a guy like him. And I wouldn't say she's necessarily a love interest, but definitely a friend who has a thing for Daredevil, who has a secret crush on him. Definitely has a good, no flashbacks for her, but definitely has a good arc, which I feel like definitely didn't close well. Didn't have much closure in the end, but maybe they'll bring it back up in the second season. Vincent D'Onofrio as Wilson Fisk is hands down the best casting decision I had ever seen. Oh my God, is he great in this? He really is. First off, when you first see him, it's like he just jumps right out of the comic book pages. He is the Kingpin. He's just perfect. Every aspect of him is perfect. But he's not like a caricature of villain. He is also a character. He starts off believing he is doing right by his city, while at the same time doing terrible things because he's a bad guy. He knows he does terrible things, but he believes he's doing it for the right reasons. And he has no problem murdering people brutally. He murders motherfuckers like they fucking die. But at the same time, he's also very shut in and very, very socially awkward in a way. He is. He even talks like he starts off like kept in the shadows because he believes that's the only way to help him, because he doesn't want anything tracing back to him. or his past. But then he meets Vanessa, this woman he has a crush on, who he starts dating, and she starts falling in love with him, and he starts corrupting her a bit to the point where she's going, yeah, you know what? I know you're a bad guy, but I'm going to help you out. I'm going to help you make this city a better place, because I understand sometimes we have to do terrible things to make things better. And so she helps him out. She even is the one who influences him to bringing out to going public, not his criminal activities, but going public as Wilson Fisk, saying, yes, I'm a philanthropist. I've been trying to help build Hell's Kitchen back up. She does that, and there's even like a little like Godfather kind of thing going on in his storyline, which then clashes with Daredevil's, and it's really good. Vincent D'Onofrio, again, doesn't make this a hammy character. He makes him a full-on three-dimensional character who you actually sympathize with. You actually can get behind why he's doing this. I mean, yes, you know he's a terrible person, but you get why. You get why. Yeah, other characters, side characters. Like I said, Ben Urich is a really good character. He helps Karen try to find the truth of Wilson Fisk and whatnot. He even gets to interact with Daredevil once or twice. Side characters, mostly like supporting characters, are really good, especially when especially the minor ones, because the minor ones really like move the story along. Like there's one character who's like who's being forced out of her apartment, and of course it's a kingpin plot. But she befriends both Karen and Foggy, and to a lesser extent Matt. And again, spoilers, when she's murdered, Foggy and Karen are absolutely devastated, and Matt's pissed, so he definitely goes to hunt the dude down. But at the same time, you feel really bad for this character. Like, you feel for this character because, one, this woman is just trying to keep her place. Alright, she's fighting to keep her place. But she's also a very kind, loving old Hispanic lady. And she gets some pretty good funny scenes as well, especially with Karen. It's really good. One of the other, and of course, Ben Urich is a really, really good character. He's sorry. He's a guy who's living in a world where lies are more accepted than the truth. People are more scared of backlash than they are of the truth, and he's basically in a way a washed up reporter who from a different time, having to live in a world where no one wants to even hear the truth anymore. And also what's even more sad is he's not getting the amount of money he used to, and his wife has dementia or Alzheimer's. It is heartbreaking. It really is. I didn't think I was going to give a shit, but I gave a shit when it turns out she had Alzheimer's. I'm like, oh, fuck me, dude. Oh, wow. Wow, I hope that I'm like, he's trying to get money, like he's trying to get an extension on her stay, and you're just like, oh man, I hope he gets that extension. I really, really do, because man, does she need it. She doesn't, and it's really sad. It is. The supporting villain, or hang on, before I get to that. Scott Glenn is Stick. He's only in it for one episode, but he's in it. But he's definitely. But he may be back for season 2, maybe a regular. And he and they even give him a flashback. And dear God, everything he says in this show, every line he says, is great. It is golden. Like, the things he says is an art form. Holy shit. Like, he just kind of randomly cusses for no fucking reason, but for the sake of doing it. Like, and he's always criticizing Matt. Even as a kid, he's criticizing Matt. He's like, you ask questions. It's like, you ask questions again, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. No dumb questions. I ask the questions. And like when he meets Matt 20 years later, he kills people. He does. Matt doesn't, and Matt told him he's to swear to not kill anybody. And of course, he's going to try to kill somebody later on. That's what you expect. But Stick just goes like, "I swear to not kill anybody, pussy." It's just things like that. And I actually found out Sonny Chiba was originally considered for Stick. Now, I'm usually kind of a stickler for comic book characters being a certain way. If Sonny Chiba was Stick, I would have been perfectly fine with that because that would have been awesome. But after seeing Scott Glenn play this character the way he did, there is no fucking way Sonny Chiba would have played this character that way. There's no way. No fucking way. I mean, it would have been really fucking violent, but there was no way he would have said the shit that Stick says in this show. Because holy fuck, does he say some shit. Now on to like the supporting villains. The woman playing Vanessa, very well done. The chemistry between her and Vincent D'Onofrio is very, very good. Like, you really want these two to be together. I'm not kidding. Their chemistry is so good. You really, really want these two to be together. Like, you want them to be happy together while they're controlling Hell's Kitchen with an iron fist. You really do. Speaking of Iron Fist, other characters. There's a member of the Triad is named Madame Gao, who, for the most part, is just this elderly lady until Daredevil faces her and gets his ass handed to her, and she's just this tiny, sweet little. She's this tiny little old Chinese lady. Like she's the Chinese lady you would meet at a restaurant who would like go, oh, look at you, such chubby cheeks, you look skinny, eat. I'm probably gonna get a lot of flack for that one, but you get what I'm saying. She looks like that, but she is not like that. She's actually really intimidating. She really fucking is. She is not to be fucked with at all, and she's like part of that whole Godfather conspiracy plot. Then you got the Russians, who are these two brothers, and like a good chunk of the series is dedicated to like them kind of being the villains for a time. But even they get like an arc. They even get a fucking flashback, and like. You kind of, and again, you get why they're bad guys. You get why they're doing this. But they're brothers, and you know that they love each other. They're brothers, and you sympathize with them. You feel really bad for them in the end. And then you got Leland Owlsley, the Owl. I can't remember the actor's name, but he's the dude that played the douchebag Dean in Patch Adams. He was in a couple other things. You've seen him in you've more than likely seen him in a few movies back in the 90s. He plays the Owl, and he's just like basically that skeptical accountant dude. But he has plenty of good screen time. For him, on the other hand, though, you don't really sympathize with him because he's a douchebag. Not to mention, I I keep having flashbacks to fucking Patch Adams. Then you got Wesley, who's basically Wilson Fisk's confidant and best friend. And again, you get behind him. He's Wilson Fisk's best friend. He's the dude who handles everything. I was really kind of hoping for a fight scene between him and Daredevil, like he's surprisingly a badass or something. But we don't get that. But again, he's an intimidating guy. He kind of, I mean, honestly, like his facial features and the smirk he always gives kind of reminds me a bit of James Spader, in a way. Like this is like 30 years ago or 20 years ago, if this movie was made back in the 90s, James Spader would have been this dude. James Spader would have been this guy, but even more intimidating. I'm sorry. The one person I do want to talk about is my buddy Peter Shinkota, who plays a character named Nobu, who is Yakuza. Who's a Yakuza and works for Fisk as well. I hate to be that guy because like I've talked to Peter Shinkota. Hell, I met him last year. I mean, fuck. I made a video about Daredevil because of him, because he was cast in this show, and I felt, fuck it, I'm gonna make a video of this. He's the reason why. But I feel like I wouldn't be doing my quote-unquote job if I gave someone a free pass just because I like talking to this person. I like to be friends with this person. I've got to be honest here. His character's not that great. I'm not saying he's bad at it. He's not. He's an intimidating motherfucker in this. Like, those steely eyes he has makes him really intimidating. His character is actually rather forgettable. He is. The only saving grace I can give this character, is I was so fucking right he was a member of the Hand. He fights Daredevil, like there's an entire episode dedicated to flash forwarding to him fighting Daredevil and Daredevil getting his ass handed to him, and you know it's Peter Shinkota, like you can tell by his eyes, and he's dressed in red ninja garb, so you know he's a member of the Hand. They even mention it. And he's getting his ass, and Daredevil's getting his ass handed to him. Honestly, that is the most memorable thing about him. That's his most memorable thing. That's his moment to shine. But that's about it. He doesn't really get much else before that, because the ninja thing is actually his last episode. Peter Shinkota, like I said, he's not bad at it because he's still a very intimidating person. He really is. I can believe just by the look on his face, he's not one to fuck with, but I've seen good supporting villains. I've seen good henchmen. For a lack of a better word, in other Marvel cinematic movies and even TV shows, I've seen really good supporting villains, and he's just not one of them. The only thing I felt like he was there for was to introduce was to slightly open the door for the potential of the Hand being introduced next season. Hell, I mean, the episode before introduced another faction of the Hand called the Chase, which are like the Hand's enemy. So we may get that next season. I don't know, but that's all I felt like he was there for. I mean, he just doesn't get that amount of screen time like the Russians do, or Madame Gal does. And it was really disappointing because that was one of the things I was really looking forward to the show. Is like I really wanted to see like Peter Shinkoda play that character that really people will start talking about. And I feel like the writers didn't give that to him. I'll say this though, he went out in a blaze of glory, quite fucking literally, because he gets lit on fire and still fights Daredevil. And it is awesome. Like, he is lit on motherfucking fire. He really is. And that's another thing about this show. The fight choreography is fantastic. Like, this is actually even better than Arrow's fight choreography, and I love Arrow's fight choreography on that show. But this is even better. This is straight up movie quality fighting here. This is movie quality fight choreography, and like I said, and again, it's brutal. Definitely. I mean, like I said, the fight between Nobu and Daredevil are very, very, I mean, it's very good. It's very brutal. Like you feel like you're getting punched. Hell, you feel like you're getting stabbed and slashed to bits. And then when Daredevil fights Kingpin after his fight with Nobu, Kingpin wipes the fucking floor with him. Holy shit! He is on the verge of death. you're just, and you feel like you've been punched multiple times after that. One of the other things, like I said before, chemistry is really good. Like, everybody has good chemistry. Everybody in the show has good chemistry. Even in the flashbacks, everyone has good chemistry. Young Matt with his dad, Jack Murdock, has fantastic chemistry. You know what's gonna happen to his father, but you believe this man gives a damn about his son's well-being. You believe he doesn't want his son to be a fighter, but be educated to actually make something of himself. I mean, I'm hoping they go into a dilemma of would his father approve of him being Daredevil? Probably not. I don't think he would. But he's definitely that character. But Jack Murdock is a fighter. He's a boxer because he never really put much effort into his education. But he doesn't want that for his son. But you believe these two really genuinely love each other. Same thing with the chemistry between Stick, young Matt, and Stick. Hell, even Charlie Cox and Scott Glenn is really good because it's like when in the flashbacks, it's like Matt wants a father figure. Stick just wants a soldier, but they definitely have a connection. There seems to be a respect for one another. But 20 years later, it's very evident Matt still has feelings for him, it's broken because Stick is an asshole. And Stick is an asshole. He's a blind asshole. Which is kind of great. The chemistry between, like I said, the chemistry between Wilson Fisk and Vanessa, fantastic. You really want them together. But hands down, the best chemistry I have seen in this show is between Matt and Foggy. They're best friends. You know they went to college together. You know they want to make a difference, and you know they want to stick together. So when Foggy finds out Matt is Daredevil, it leads to, hands down, my favorite episode of this season, which is just this really just a rather quiet episode, which is Foggy and it was just Foggy basically interrogating mad about like it's like, oh, you're the vigilante. Are you even fucking blind? Are you truly blind at all? Or did you just make that shit up? Is everything about you a lie, basically? And like and they end it basically with a friendship possibly broken. But it gets repaired later on, but I don't want to get too much into spoilers, even though I already have. But then they go to flashbacks to when they were in college, when they first meet as roommates, and right off the bat, you know these two are going to be friends for life, and just the chemistry just right off the bat is really well done. Like you really like you really root for these guys to hopefully get their business booming, to really get clients, to make a difference. And knowing that Foggy now knows that Matt is Daredevil, possibly being able to like work around that system, because now Foggy understands that yes, you're going to need to fight outside the law in order to make a difference. He gets that now. The other thing I do want to talk about real fast is Matt's powers. Matt's powers are good. They're great. How they portray them is really good, because he's still blind. He's still blind, and he knows this. But his powers, he even explains them. He has to actually concentrate in order for them to work. He has to focus, and they do it very well. They don't do that whole stupid ass echolocation bullshit the 2003 one did. But instead, just like sounds, like slight visual augmentations of like to the side of Matt to like show like his hearing is strengthening, the smell, sometimes the taste, like he still senses things even when he's not concentrating, but to know where like, oh, there's some flares over there, there's a saw over there, blah blah blah, just basically that sort of thing. But it's done well, and it's done very realistically. Like you can actually believe or Matt can do all this. You can believe these powers could possibly exist with a blind person. And it's done, and again, like I said, it's done very well. Also, I do want to say, this was kind of predictable, but they did say like the red suit was going to be introduced, was going to be shown in the season. A lot of people were speculating, oh, is it going to be shown in the second half? Is it going to be shown like pretty early on, or is it going to be shown in the last episode? I kind of figured it was going to be shown in the last episode, and I was right. It was shown in like the last 10-15 minutes of the show, where Matt gets his suit, his Daredevil suit. And what's great is like he gets it from a dude that was making armor for Wilson Fisk, and but Daredevil's going like, and Matt was just going like, look, you make this for me, all right, because this ain't working, because this black shirt and mask thing ain't cutting out for me anymore. You make this for me, and I promise I won't bother you. I'll protect your girlfriend named Betsy. I swear. First off, I didn't know about this character. I didn't know this character was a former supervillain named Gladiator, which they make hints at. So like when he's like, oh, protect Betsy, I thought Betsy was something else, because this guy was kind of like on edge. I was thinking, is Betsy a cow? Because that's all I can think of. Was like, is he telling Matt to protect his cow? Is this guy fucking his cow? What the hell? But anyway, sorry. But yeah, like Gladiator makes Matt his suit, and oh my god, is the suit awesome! Like they revealed that like the mask and a bit of the suit, the torso of the suit, and like a motion poster like the day before the show premiered, and a lot of people, and from what I was getting, was like a lot of people were on the fence. Like even me, like I was like a little iffy on it, but I want to see how it was like in action. It is really good, and it's not just like a straight up red outfit. It's a red and black outfit. There are black platings all over, like all over his suit. And you know what? I actually like it. I do. I actually feel like the one thing you should always do when you make a superhero costume is you should always have some contrast. Like you should mix colors that fit. As long as it's not too much and it doesn't like overdo, or it doesn't like take away from the other colors. That's like kind of the rule of superhero costumes. And granted, yes, Daredevil's costume wasn't like that, or at least his second costume wasn't like that. But here it works. It really works because it definitely, because it helps invoke the image of when Daredevil went dark in the 70s, and like his outfit, even though it's all red, will be in the shadows, it's all black, and it definitely invokes that because that black really helps bring the shadows out, and it's really well done. And so when you see Daredevil, he's just this intimidating motherfucker. Like, I mean, he like the helmet looks a bit Batman-ish, but of course it was, but he's not. But you know, shit's gonna get real when Daredevil appears, and it's awesome. And the final fight between him and Wilson Fisk is that showdown you were waiting for, and dear God, is it glorious? I mean, hell, but also one of the best fight scenes is like this one fight scene in a hallway when Daredevil, like it's early in the season, like I think episode 2, when Daredevil is looking for this boy that was kidnapped, and he fights these guys, and he fights these guys in a hallway in one take. This was a one-take fight. And like I said, choreography is fantastic. I've got to give it to these guys for putting the effort into something really complex. Something absolutely complex like that. Being able to do that in one take. So yeah, I can't think of anything else, but Marvel references. I won't get too much into it, but I just want to like point out some of the things that I did notice. For instance, like there is an Elektra reference when they do a flashback back to Matt and Foggy in college. They're just walking and they're really, really drunk, and they even talk about, and that's actually one of my favorite scenes, and one of my favorite non-fight scenes in the show is just them walking on campus drunk off their asses and just having a good conversation. They mention Matt briefly dating the Greek girl, and as everyone, and if anyone knows, the Greek girl is Elektra. And I hope she comes in next season. I really do. If not, season 3, who knows? Also, like I said, there's a Gladiator reference. There's blueprints of him making like a buzzsaw suit. I was briefly introduced to Gladiator, but it was through the Ultimate Spider-Man comics scene. Wasn't really a good character. It was like one of those one note, oh, I'm gonna make fun of this character. Like, Brian Michael Bendis seemed to just wanted to poke fun of that character at the time. There were some others. There was even some throwbacks to or some references to Wilson Fisk getting the white suit. There was even apparently an Iron Fist reference. I'm not big on an Iron Fist. I know who the character is, but I didn't get the references. until I saw them online and people pointed them out. But yeah, there's that. But yeah, that's about it. Like, besides the hand references, that's all I could find, really. I mean, I know there's plenty more. There's like references to the Avengers films. There's all sorts of other stuff. There's even like a reference to S.H.I.E.L.D. and whatnot. So yeah, final score for Daredevil. And like I said, it's near perfection, but I feel like it's earned it. I feel like this show has absolutely earned this, because this is a damn good show. Is a 10 out of 10. I really do believe it's earned it. Like I said, it's just a margin from near perfection, but at the same time, I mean, there's no such thing as a perfect anything, but this definitely earns that 10 out of 10, I think, because this is a damn good show. I recommend it. If you have a Netflix account, watch it. If you don't, bum it off one of your friends like I did, because it is great. I was like promoting this damn thing on radio for one of my classes, because I was excited. Hell, I'm going to probably promote it when I do my radio shift this week. I probably will, because it's a damn good show. This show is fantastic. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and try and get this online. I will get all my Marvel stuff up, and I'll then get my Cinderella review fixed. Hopefully I won't have any complications with this review. Afterwards, I will, and I will get all my Marvel rewinds, and I'll go through even the ones I already did reviews on, because I want to talk about other stuff. I will also do reviews on the Marvel one-shots, so this will be a little shorter. I'm sorry. And I'll get those done. I will post those when, like, the day I shoot them. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this edited and taken care of. So yeah, this is a pretty long review. It's a 13 episode show, so whatnot. Also, I will get caught up on Flash and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'll just do recaps on those. Also, Gotham just came back on. Flash is coming back on again after like a 2-week hiatus. So I'll get those up as soon as possible. I'll probably just do a recap. So other than that, I'm running out of time, so I'm going to shut up now. So I will see you guys next time when I review Iron Man, to fully kick off the Marvel madness that is to come. I'll see you guys later. You all have a wonderful day. Bye.